Hello, welcome back. Today I am going to do a brief Ollies haul, not Aldi, although that's usually what I do. Ollies, Ollies. And then I'm going to do a very, very short story time. Without further ado, it was a very, 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 very random Ollies haul. But I saw in an ad that they had these for $4.79. Now they're $10 on Amazon, and I had already bought one the first time I ever visited Ollie's a few months ago, and I loved them. I got one for myself as well because the one that I got my nephew loved, and so I ended up giving him mine. And then my mom sort of indicated that my other niece and nephew of the same age might be a little jealous, so I was watching to see if they would have them again because I didn't want to spend $10 a piece on them. So I got this one for my niece and this one for my nephew, and then I replaced the one that I gave my other nephew with this one, which the one that I gave him was rainbow, but this one glows in the dark. And they had the rainbow ones available too, but I don't know why, there's just something so satisfying about it. It doesn't seem to be quite as loose as the rainbow one, but it's just so fun to play with. My daughter always stole it before I gave it to my nephew, so this will be as much hers as mine, but legitimately I just really enjoy the sound. It's just very satisfying. It's so random, but I love it. So I got one for my niece, one for my nephew, and one for me. And I got a bunch of hygiene products. So I got a Tresemme Styled for the Planet recyclable and 100% recycled bottle, which, like, awesome. Botanic Nourish and Replenish with coconut and aloe vera. Pro Collection shampoo, because I need the very high oil content shampoos, and I usually use the L'Oreal something V. It's like an oil one, but Ollie's has amazing prices for hygiene stuff, so I wanted to see if I could use one of their brands. So, and I go through shampoo so fast, if I don't like it, it'll only last like 6 shampoos. So, because I have to do a double lather and I have really thick hair. So yeah, so I got the Tresemme, so we'll see how that one goes. I got it's Elvive, okay. So it looks like very similar, it's the same line by L'Oreal, as the one that I get, but the one I get is like kind of gold orange packaging. This one says that it is it says new look, so maybe it is the same thing. It has the word hyaluronic on it, which my other one didn't, but it says Power Moisture Hydrating Conditioner, quenches, hydrates, and no way down. So I think it probably made it to Ollie because that's a typo. But it's for normal to dry hair. Basically, it has an arginine K complex, which is oil, and then hyaluronic whatever. So we'll see if it works. But I have had good luck with the L'Oreal Elvive moisturizing shampoo before. So if this is similar, this is a conditioner. But I'm going to try both of these, and then I won't know which one did what. But I still have some shampoo from my previous bottle, so I'll probably start with the conditioner and see how that goes, and then switch shampoos and see how that goes, and see if I like the difference. They also had, so this one was $2.99, and it's like a normal size bottle. That's pretty on par with what it normally is. Sometimes it can be up to $5 at places like Target, though. And this was $2.99 as well, and it says that their price is $5, and that tracks, because Tresemme is a little bit more of an expensive brand, And like at Walmart, it would be about $5. But this feels like it's like it's 22 ounces. So it's twice as big as the other bottle, which makes it a family size. So I would expect this to be more like 7 at like Target or something. And then this is a body wash, and it's Hydrate plus Marula Oil Body Wash. Because I have very, very dry skin. My husband does not, so he uses a different soap than me when I get the hydrating kind. But I don't always. Sometimes I just use lotion or something. Or I just walk around super dry and itchy. A rare exotic blend of marula oil pressed from the seed of succulent marula fruit. I don't know what a marula is, so yeah. But it smells like nice. It smells kind of like a very mild, like middle-aged lady perfume. Very, like it's probably not going to conflict if I wear any other kind of perfume. Although I don't wear a lot of perfumes. So those were my hygiene products. And then I also got this for my sister. It's an I Love the Earth journal for celebrating and protecting our planet. The original price was $15, but the Ollie's price is $2.99. So my guess is that there weren't very many in there, so I don't think it was one of those situations where it was like just a complete like flop, but they must have gotten in some kind of an overstock deal or something. But yeah, so it looked really interesting, but my sister is just like a huge planet lover, and she does, like, she once made it a goal to give up styrofoam for a year, and she, at the end of the year, had one Sonic cup, like a 32-ounce Sonic cup, that something had happened where they brought her a drink or something like that, and she hadn't even intended to like use their cup, and so she had one Sonic cup with like several items, like it was stuffed pretty full, but for a whole year that was all of her styrofoam use. So, which I thought was really impressive. But that's just like how dedicated she is. So it has like cool little infographics about different ecological organization, a biome map, some kind of triangle. So it just kind of educates you on like a little bit of more in-depth ecology. It's really cool art. I thought it was a really great find for $3. How to protect our planet. So different ideas of how you can really be involved more. And then it has, like each of the journaling pages has a quote or a prompt. So for example, like in the middle of the book, just randomly, this one is, what are some things people can do to help protect the earth? Do you do them? Do people in your family, school, and community do them? So it might be a little guilt trippy. I'm getting a little bit of vegan vibes from it. Not that there's anything wrong with being a vegan, but honestly, my sister's probably going to like that. Who are your role models and why? Make a list of all the places in the world that you want to visit someday. What interests you about these places? So it is more of like a mindfulness journal where it tells you what you should write about, not just like a random journal with a bunch of stuff at the beginning, which I still think is really cool though. So it might not be like an everyday kind of journaling thing, but it'll be a fun one just for her to like cycle back to, because she's a big journaler. And she might enjoy something with just like a single page daily prompt. It's got this cool coloring page with like a little bio in it. Anyway, I just thought that was really cool. And then I got this, which is, so it looked like a really great deal because the original price says $24.99 US, and it was $5 at Ollie's. And it's a Bible activity box set. So it's a coloring book, sticker book, felt tip markers, and a doodle pad. And my daughter's not quite old enough to appreciate like most of this stuff. Like she would just like take all of the stickers out at once. It would be a big waste of money. But I have kind of a box of things to save, like when I find a really good deal, or like especially when I'm thrift shopping or something, or if I'm at a consignment sale and I see something that's great for her but she's not old enough for it yet, I have like a whole drawer. Actually, I have 2 drawers in a file box for just when she's old enough for those activities. And so, anyway, this looked like a really great deal though. I'm kind of curious why it's marked down so low, but I noticed that Ollie's gets a lot of Christian stuff. I think that they probably have like a Christian bookstore deal or something like that. And I'd say probably 60 to 70% of the stuff I've seen there is like kind of the super cringy Christian stuff. But I mean, a coloring book, sticker book, doodle pad, and felt tip markers, that's gonna work well for a preschooler no matter what. I don't really see it being too cringy. Although they do have white Jesus, which is not my favorite. But if it's a coloring book, we can fix that. So anyway, that was my Ollies haul. Okay, so quick story time. This is Murphy. Murphy came with our house. When we first came and toured the house, he was sitting out front to greet us. He had a massive chip on his shoulder, and he added somehow so much to the charm of this very old house, because we knew that the previous owners had a sense of humor, which was nice. So Murphy just has a funny story because he has had a hard life. He was already pretty beat up when we moved in. I just felt like I really wanted to keep him out front though, because he just seemed to be a part of the house in a funny way. The house has a lot of cute little quirks and Easter eggs throughout. I'll see if I can post a few pictures, but we had like one of the big things that drew us to this house was there's an antique fire hydrant in the backyard, big red one. It's not connected, it's just sitting in the middle of the backyard. So we figure the previous owners probably had a dog or 2 or 3 or 4. It's a big yard. And then there was Murphy, and then we realized that the fence posts had little horse heads on them. And then I noticed that the hose faucet handle was a little bunny. And then we were ripping out the porch, and we were going to put in a patio, which we have done, but while I was doing that, I was kind of digging out the bricks surrounding the edge of the porch. It was a very strange thing because it was pretty clear there was like a wooden deck sort of styled porch. And we ripped it out because we had a really bad mosquito problem, and I had a suspicion that water was collecting under that porch because you would step out onto the porch and they would just swarm out from under it. And so we ripped the whole thing out, and sure enough there was like a pretty big like trench underneath it. So we filled that in, and I was sort of shoveling around and just kind of cleaning the area and trying to level it out so that we could lay down some flagstone. And I found, so there was also, it was weird, there was like a wooden porch, and then there was like flagstone out quite a ways, but it had been mostly buried. So it had been there for a really long time and had not been kept up. So as I was sort of pulling up the flagstone, because we were going to rearrange it and use it instead of the porch as a patio, I found another red brick patio underneath the flagstone. And so anyway, so I found myself like kind of digging around to see like, is that all? And lo and behold, I also discovered this gorgeous turquoise tile border around what used to be the patio, with these foot-long, 6-inch wide, beautiful robin's egg, or like almost Tiffany blue tiles that probably are circa 1950s, like legit vintage. And I found dozens and dozens of them. It was literally digging up buried treasure. And so I have those now in our shed because I intend to use them and use them well. We did not use them for the patio. But anyway, so that has been a massive digression, but this house has just been so interesting. It just has so many little secrets, and I hope that we can add a few secrets ourselves while we live here. But Murphy, I've always really just had a soft spot for him because all of the local fauna, like I've seen birds swoop him and knock him over. I've seen squirrels like attack him and knock him over. We have very rarely walked out that he has not been knocked over when I put him back upright most days. Either by the dog or a squirrel or a bird or a cat. Nobody likes Murphy. And I nicknamed him Murphy because I kind of started thinking of him as like a little guardian angel, like sort of like a little good luck talisman or something like that, because I have developed this entire like headcanon or lore behind Murphy that just sort of amuses me. I don't really believe it because I'm not superstitious in that way. I am superstitious. I am not a full atheist, so I have my own superstitions, but not regarding things like this. But I love just sort of the thought that Murphy is sort of like a dream catcher for bad luck. And so every time he gets knocked down, he's absorbed or guarded our house from some kind of bad luck. And so I just love the idea that our little guardian angel is this tiny little biker gnome that looks super beat up and just gets knocked over every time you look at him. But it kind of fits this sort of funny story I've always had in my head of the idea that Murphy's Law, like really Murphy is actually like an angel of Murphy's Law who kind of has to like carry out the everything that can go wrong will go wrong, but it's usually so that like people can grow and mature or, you know, be challenged or whatever. And so I've always joked, especially after we have like a really hard time where several things in a row will happen that's stressful or frustrating, I always love to imagine that like someday I'm going to get to heaven and I'm going to find this really beat up looking angel at the end of a bar at a pub, and I'm going to buy him a beer because it's going to be our Murphy angel. And he'll just be worn out from, you know, a long run of having the hard job of being the angel that delivers character building misfortune. So anyway, so now my mental headcanon of this, you know, benevolent angel of misfortune named Murphy, that somehow the, you know, the, what do you call it, the physical plane has picked up on and nicknamed it Murphy's Law. Now I like to imagine that angel has taken the form of our extremely beat up little gnome. And now the question is, because Murphy's been getting it pretty bad lately and the squirrels took off most of his arm now, and I'm wondering if I should try to find a replacement Murphy, or just try to keep him kicking as long as we can, because I don't know that he's going to last that much longer, especially if we have toddlers running around and such. But he's just so endearing beat up, but only to us, because only the people who know the headcanon think he's endearing. I don't know what like a random passerby thinks. They probably think he's pretty tacky. But that is my Murphy story. So that is the story time and my haul. And now you know about our angel Murphy, angel of Murphy's Law, our guardian angel that
catches all the bad luck before it gets inside the house. Which is also why all the grass in front of him is dead and all the grass behind him is alive. Has nothing to do with the distribution of shade. But anyway, so I hope that you will like and subscribe, and my next video we will be taking a big deep dive and go spelunking in the closet to do a little home reno project. Then I'm going to start the closet renovation, and so you get to watch me kind of just get set up and maybe make the first cut, which is a little scary because if I find something icky, we're gonna move into my parents' house for a week. Or we're gonna duct tape over the hole. We'll see.